The original name of Sheikh Zainuddin Rishi was Jai Singh. He had come here in the mid-15th century. People from all walks of life come here to seek solace. They have immense faith in the shrine. This place was earlier known as Ashosh Muqam, which almost means the abode of Essa. In course of time, it got corrupted to Ash Muqam.
So Ash Muqam is basically a place where Jesus has lived, he has meditated, and that rod is there.
Ash Muqam preserves Asai Essa, or the rod of Jesus. It is the rod which Essa used to carry with him all the time. The rod is not shown to anybody now. Mullah Naidari compiled his history of Kashmir in 1420 AD. He writes that User Asif came to Kashmir during the reign of King Gopananda in the 1st century AD. Mullah Naidari has mentioned that Hazrat Isa, or Jesus Christ, had adopted the name of User Asif. He mentions Jesus as Hazrat Isa Ruh Allah, meaning thereby Isa, the Spirit of God. Some archaeological evidences also support the arrival of Jesus in Kashmir. This ancient Shiva temple was built in 220 BC. According to historian Mullah Naidari, King Gopananda got this temple repaired in the 1st century. For repairing the temple, Gopananda sought the advice and guidance of User Asif. This fact is supported by other historical documents too. There are 4 pillars around this temple. There were ancient inscriptions on each of these pillars. Now they have been completely erased. But 2 inscriptions were photographed in 1869 by Henry Hardy Cole, the then Superintendent of Archaeological Survey of India. During this period, User Asif proclaimed his prophethood, year 54. He is Yuzu, the prophet of the children of Israel. The mason of this pillar, Razi Hashti Zako, year 54. This pillar in honor of Eli Kim, son of Marjan. The inscriptions mention Kashmiri year 54. This corresponds to 78 AD. Thus, the probable year of the arrival of User Asif, or Jesus Christ in Kashmir, is 78 AD. There is also a possibility of an interesting link between the Jewish culture and Shaivism. This is the Star of David, the most sacred symbol of the Jews. In Vedic culture, this is the symbol of Shiva and Shakti, the conjunction of masculine and feminine forces which gives rise to creation. The Shiva Lingam in Yoni Pit is a 3D representation of the same symbol. The Shiva temple of the Gopadri hill also houses a Shiva Lingam. The Shiva angle becomes prominent when we find that there is a mention of Essa in the ancient scrolls of the Nath sect of India. It is an extremely old, secretive and mystic sect of Shiva worshippers. Their ancient book, Nath Namavali Sutra, mentions Essa as Isanath. It says that Isanath finally got settled in Kashmir. The 4th inscription on the Shiva temple is very intriguing. This pillar, in honor of Eli Kim, son of Marjan. But who was Marjan?
Story is that Yusuf married Marjan, a shepherdess from the village of shepherds. Now in Kashmiri we say Pohol Gam. Gam means village, Pohol means shepherd.
Traversed by boulder-strewn Lidha River, Pahalgaon is a major center of tourist attraction in Kashmir. Shepherds come from far-off lands bringing along their flocks of sheep. People are traditional and rooted very strongly to their culture. According to the Persian history book Nigaristan-e-Kashmir, Yuza Asif married a shepherdess of Pahalgaon. It was King Shalivan who persuaded Yuza Asif or Isa Masih to marry. The king had shortlisted some girls from whom Isa selected Marjan of Pahalgaon to be his wife. According to inscriptions on the Shiva temple, Elikim was the name of the son of Marjan and Isa. It seems that there are many aspects of history on which proper research has still not been done. Archaeological investigations lead us to another place called Harwan near Srinagar. Adjacent to Harwan is the ancient archaeological site where the fourth great Buddhist council was held in the 1st century AD. These walls of small boulders and pebbles have preserved history which unfolded more than 1,900 years ago. It is a saga of that time when great Kanishka was the king of this part of the world. In the 1st century AD, he convened a great council of Buddhist monks at this very place. Scholars came down from far-off places like Central Asia, China, Sri Lanka and other parts of India. This fourth Buddhist council is a landmark event in the history of Buddhism. It gave birth to Mahayana Buddhism. Who was the moving force behind the great revival of Buddhism? Such a great insight requires a great personality. Scholars feel that this great personality was none other than Yuza Asif. The strongest evidence for this are the 2 coins released by Kanishka. One coin mentions Buddho or Buddha. The second coin mentions Yuzo or Yuza Asif. It is clear that Kanishka respected and adored Yuza Asif in the same light as Buddha. It is indeed highly fascinating to see one personality of Yuza Asif uniting Christianity, Buddhism, Vedic culture and Islam together. The truth is one. The prophet, sages and saints reveal the same truth in different ways. They are the confluence points of diversity of views. Love to all is their fundamental message. We, the ignorant followers, create conflicts and sects, but the messengers of God preach oneness of truth. The evidences are very strong that Yuza Asif, the prophet buried at Rozabal, and Jesus Christ are the same person. The next step of research should be DNA testing of the tomb. We must use the latest scientific techniques to ascertain the final truth.
The DNA is the next important tool that we need to help establish the truth about Rozabal tomb.
Whatever may be the ultimate truth, the Rozabal shrine stands as a great heritage, not only of India, but of entire mankind. It must be preserved properly and should be open to all.
This shrine, which is revered by Christians, by Hindus, by Muslims, by Jews, it is a national heritage and it should be taken over by UNESCO. It should be taken over by Government of India. it should be looked after by the Archaeological Survey of India.
I think it is the responsibility of India and the government of Kashmir to step up to the plate, to take Rosa Ball, to protect it and restore it, and to preserve it for all future generations.
In the city of Patna, there is the Khuda Bakhsh Oriental Public Library. It houses a large number of ancient books and documents. There is an old book in Urdu in the library by the name of Qissa Shehzada Yusa Asif Wo Hakim Balahar, the story of Prince Yusa Asif and Hakim Balahar. It describes the moment of death of Yusa Asif in Kashmir. Yusa Asif called one of his disciples Ya Bodh and instructed him to build a tomb at the very place of his death. Then the great Savior delivered his last sermon. Now, at this last moment, my spirit is ready to fly towards the Holy One. It is necessary for all of you to follow the commandments of God. None should go towards the untruth, leaving the truth. This is indeed a message for the entire humanity. This Rosabal Shrine is perhaps the most unique place in the world. Nowhere else do we find such a great confluence of religions, thoughts, and beliefs. It conveys to us the message of the Savior, who was the Prince of Peace. Generations will come and generations will go. The grand cosmic play of God and His messengers never sanctions conflicts and hatred. The only will of the Supreme Father is love. This is the message of the Rosabal Shrine, the supposed tomb of Jesus in India.